Hello everyone, it's Pamela, also known as Dawn Gloves. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today I want to talk about bank scams. My dear friend and housemate, who we will call Nana, was nearly tricked into one on Sunday that would have left her penniless. On Sunday, I could hear Nana talking on the phone, sounding very upset. She was anxious and came to my room and asked me to talk to the representative from her bank because she didn't understand the instructions he was trying to give her. She put me on speakerphone and he explained that there was fraud detected on her account and she needed to transfer all of her savings into her checking account. Thinking it was strange but wanting to help, I made the transfer for her using the mobile app on her phone. Then he asked me to go into her iPhone wallet and make sure that her debit card information was entered there. Now, I'm upright suspicious. So I asked him, what exactly is he helping her with? He explained that the fraud was detected on her account and that she needed to transfer funds from her debit card to Apple Cash so that he could reset her checking account to prevent further fraud. Then he would provide new banking and routing numbers so that we could transfer it back. I asked him if I could put him on a brief hold, and he asked if there were any questions he could answer for me. I said, no, I'll just be a moment, and I hit mute. We checked her balances in the mobile app, and oddly, nothing was unusual. Then I asked Nana who called who first. She said she received a text message. Then he called her. So I looked at the text message, and I wish I had a screenshot because it was almost legit. They tried so hard, but there's always something off. In this case, it cited an amount over $1,400 that was spent at the Walmart supermarket. If they had said Supercenter, I might not have batted an eye, but now I have a pretty good idea of who I'm dealing with. I also noted that the number the text came from was not in the form of an SMS short code, usually a 5 or 6 digit code, but a number in the 808 area code, which is Hawaii. Fascinating. At this point, Nana was near tears. She had just been paid, her retirement payment was in, and the rent payment was scheduled to debit from that very account the next day. She said she needed to step out of the room because she was becoming very anxious and was about to panic, so I let her go to calm down. And besides, I wanted a minute alone with Mr. Helpful Bank Guy. So I put him back on speaker and asked him about the number the text was sent from. And he said, yes, it was from an 808 area code, but that if I checked the caller ID, I would see that he was calling from the same number that is listed on the back of the card for customer service. I checked it. It matched. But I learned about phone number spoofing a long time ago. Phone number spoofing is when scam callers can use computer software to disguise their identity by faking the caller ID information. I left that alone and questioned him further about why the Apple Cash transfer was necessary. And he said it was the bank's new method to protect her funds while her account was being reset. I stated plainly, I'm not saying you're dishonest, and I'm sure you're trying to help, but it just doesn't feel right, and I have to protect my family, so I think we'll just go to the bank tomorrow to sort this out. At this point, he started saying too much, too fast, trying to convince me he was really trying to help, that this was the new procedure, and that the money would be safe. This was the best way to get her stolen money back to her the same day, he said. But if you prefer, you can take the time and go to the bank tomorrow. His voice seemed to change when he heard me typing on my keyboard. I let him know that what I had just read on the bank's website said that once the money was in Apple Cash, it was no longer secure and couldn't be recovered in the event of loss. He couldn't be calling from the bank, and there would be no transfer. He simply said, okay, and after a very prolonged pause, he hung up. The Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, received over 86,000 reports of bank fraud during the first 3 quarters of last year. And by the first half of 2024, consumers reported nearly $1 billion in losses through bank transfers. Defrauders use social media or mobile devices to lure victims into tech support scams, gift card fraud, prize, lottery, and sweepstakes scams, and family or friend impersonation scams. Older adults are more likely to be targeted. Incidents of fraud are increasing for banks and credit unions, and scammers are becoming more sophisticated every day in their attempts to steal people's hard-earned money. They've moved beyond hacking. Why put in all that work when you can convince a pensioner to hand you all of their financial details under the guise of helping them? So how do we protect ourselves and our loved ones? Well, we called and spoke to a real representative from the bank's fraud department. She told us we had done the right thing by calling right away, and that the fraudster was attempting what is called a phishing scam, spelled with a PH. Think phishing, but instead of using a rod and fishing line, they're using the phone, and what they're after is your personal information. The best thing to do if you receive a text saying it's from your bank regarding fraud, no matter how legit it looks, is to not reply to it or open any links. Instead, call your bank's fraud department directly and ask them if they tried to contact you. A banking scam text usually creates a sense of urgency. They want you to panic so you aren't thinking anymore. They state fake account activity. They say there's suspicious activity, but if you were to actually check your banking information, you would see there was nothing there. And it includes suspicious links often to take you to another website where you'll input all of your information, and there they have it now to steal your identity. And of course, it always involves impersonation. These individuals pose as representatives from major banks. Again, never click on links in suspicious texts or emails. Call your bank directly, and never give any of your account numbers or passwords to anyone over the phone. Banks do not call to ask you for your information. A legitimate banker will never ask for that. That's all I have for today. Please share your thoughts on this video in the comments, and if you or anyone you know has experienced anything similar to this, let me know that too. And of course, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell and select all notifications so that you can see what I'm up to next. Thanks again for tuning in, and take care. I'll see you the next time.